Hello and welcome. My name is Connie Mitchell and I am the president of the Dearborn Heights League of Women Voters, a nonpartisan national organization that encourages the informed and active participation of citizens in government. The League never supports or opposes candidates or political parties. Membership is open to everyone ages 16 and older. I'm also the moderator of tonight's candidate forum, which is presented and produced as a public service by the League of Women Voters. This is an opportunity for candidates to express their views related to their candidacy. The LWV does not certify the accuracy of any candidate's responses to questions and is not responsible for the views expressed therein. Voters are encouraged to fact-check information shared at the forum. The forum is being conducted on September 25th, 2025 at the Caroline Kennedy Public Library in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, and the recording that you are watching has been released in its entirety. This candidate forum is for the office of mayor in the city of Dearborn Heights, Michigan. The League of Women Voters wants every eligible voter to inform themselves and to vote. For additional information on today's candidates, please visit the League's online voter guide at vote411.org. If you're not sure about your polling place or voter registration status, please contact the city clerk's office or visit the Secretary of State's Michigan Voter Information Center at michigan.gov/vote, michigan.gov/vote, and there you can find your polling place in all of your districts. Now I am delighted to begin the forum. The candidates have agreed to the following plans. Opening statements will be delivered in alphabetical order. Thereafter, the order of responses will be rotated. Each candidate will have 1 minute to make an opening statement and 1 minute to answer each question. We will end with each candidate having 2 minutes to make a final statement. The league timekeeper, Karen Jones, will give 15-second warnings to cue the candidates to bring their answers to a close, and will raise a card and say stop to notify the candidate when their time expires. The questions again were selected by a league committee convened for that purpose. Questions were submitted prior to the forum by community members. Unfortunately, time will not allow for all the questions to be asked. If you have more questions, we encourage you to contact the candidates themselves, or you can find information available at vote411.org. It is very important that you remember that the November 4th election will determine the individual who will serve a 4-year term as mayor of the city of Dearborn Heights. Again, the candidates are Mo Beydoun and Denise Malinowski Maxwell. The candidates will now make a 1-minute opening statement. We will begin with candidate Beydoun.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, all of you guys, for being here with us today. I want to thank the League of Women Voters. I'd also like to thank Denise Malinowski Maxwell, my opponent here. Just a quick update on who I am. Before being your councilman who served for the last 4.5 years, I'm a father to Alan Medina, a husband to my wife, Dr. Layla Beydoun, and Sophie, our little pup, who's been with us for 5.5 years. This is a community that I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school. I was rooted here in the city of Dearborn Heights. I love this community, and to be able to look back and see some of the messages that my teachers have sent me in this past Mayoral primary election said, oh my God, you're going to be the future mayor. I said, well, I still got November to get through. And I just want you guys to know that this is the community that I love, that I feel enriched with, and in order for us to move forward, we have to be united, and I hope to bring that to the city of Dearborn Heights, because for too long, we've seen slumlords taking over our city, reckless driving in our neighborhood, and flooding in our streets. Thank you.
candidate Maxwell.
Yes. Good evening, ladies. Can I start again? This is not.
He's holding. He's holding.
Okay.
We're sharing the
So
same.
we're sharing the same
We're
mic.
sharing the same. Sharing
All
the
right,
same.
I need to start. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Denise Malinowski Maxwell. I am currently running for mayor of Dearborn Heights. My previous experience includes serving as interim mayor in 2020 and 2021. I have also served as city council chair and councilwoman for almost 6 years. My government experience has showed me what it takes to run a city from both sides. As city council chair, I understand what it took to run a meeting. And as interim mayor, I was privileged to see the day-to-day operations and how our city actually runs. It's not easy to run a city, but I'm confident I have what it takes. I've done it before and I can do it again. With me, I bring a lifetime of experience. Besides my time in government, I'm retired from AT&T where I was a project manager, chief union steward, and I've lost it. But at this time, I'm also a graduate of Crestwood High School and a lifetime resident of Dearborn Heights. I also graduated from Madonna University.
Thank you. We will now begin with our questions. And the first candidate to speak will be candidate Maxwell. The question is, as mayor, how will you be available for residents, and how do you plan to involve them in the decision-making process?
Well, first of all, I will use the city website where they can contact me in regards to concerns they have and anything they see that can improve our city. I will hold town hall meetings, and I will also be out in the public as much as I can. Currently, I belong to both senior centers, and you do learn a lot talking to the seniors during the day. I've been there for years, and they are a good source of what needs to be done in the city.
Thank you for your answer.
Please repeat the question.
The question again is, as mayor, how will you be available for residents, and how do you plan to involve them in the decision-making process?
Thank you so much, and as you know, I've served on the city council for the last 4.5 years, of which 2 of the last years I am currently the council chairman for the city of Dearborn Heights. And my first day in office, we had a huge snowstorm across the entire city. I picked up the phone, I contacted the DPW director, and I said, what is the plan for tomorrow's snowstorm? He said, well, we're working on a plan. I said, great, pick me up, because I want to witness it. And so I jumped into a plow truck, and I witnessed the day-to-day work that was being done by the Department of Public Works. But most importantly, we showcased it, and then we published it over social media. I've also been so accessible that just this election in the primary, my team and I have knocked almost 30,000 doors to letting people know we hear your concerns. We were the only campaign team that sent out a citywide survey asking them, what are your concerns? With that, I also shared the same phone number that my mother and my wife and my children called me on. And so to be accessible to our residents, to showcase the work that we're gonna do and hear what they ask for. Thank you.
Thank you for that answer. The second question, and we'll go back to candidate Maxwell. Besides what is your plan to establish financial stability for the city of Dearborn Heights?
Well, first of all, I will go completely through our budget and figure out where we can cut corners and what is necessary to keep the city running and at a safe level for all the residents. Right now, we have extra positions that aren't even in our charter and really aren't legal. So I need to take a good, long, hard look at those and decide if they're necessary. Let's get them voted on to make sure they're legit. And if they're not, it's time to get rid of them and streamline the city.
Mr. Baydoun, the same question.
Please just read it one more time. I'm sorry.
Besides grants, what is your plan to establish financial stability for the city?
Thank you so much. Great question. I can tell you right now that since I've been on the council in the last 4.5 years, I'm one of the only candidates that's never missed a budget hearing meeting because our job is to be fiscally responsible. Now, the city currently is facing one of the largest deficits the city's ever seen, and we no longer have ARPA funds. And so we need to be creative. Aside from getting grants, we need to work with our counterparts, like those in Wayne County and those at the state, but also at the federal level, and telling them, that aside from grants, we need to bring in more revenue into the city. And so how do we do so? Do we offer more like a civic center? Do we offer pools that the state will come out and build for us and allow us to charge a little bit of a revenue so that people can enjoy our parks, but also bring revenue into our city? And then also finding ways that we can cut so that we can bring in more revenue streams into the city of Dearborn Heights.
Thank you. And I'll stick with you for the next question.
Yes, ma'am.
Facing climate change, how would you encourage city offices and businesses in Dearborn Heights to take up and maintain good environmental policies, including building practices?
Great question. And while we talk about the environmentalist, I'm somebody that's huge on green space. I can tell you that I've already reached out to the Michigan Department of Transportation, MDOT, and have asked them, how do we slow down traffic on Ford Road but offer greenery? Can we have some type of boulevard on Warren, like we have on Telegraph, on Ford Road, on Van Born? Can you bring in some type of boulevard where it brings in more green space but also slows down traffic? And so to me, it's two peas in a pod. You're here and you're able to offer slowing down traffic, but also offering more green space. And then secondly, how do we work with our counterparts to bring in revenue so that we can figure out the once and for all issue with the flooding that's taken place at the Ecorse Creek? And so these are the type of avenues that we need to understand and take in, but also allowing for more trees to be planted across our city. We have currently a tree ordinance that's not being used. And so this, people don't understand the success that comes out of planting beautiful large trees in our city.
Stop.
1 minute feels so short.
Same question for you, shall I read it again? Facing climate change, how would you encourage city offices and businesses in Dearborn Heights to take up and maintain good environmental policies, including building practices?
Well, currently, I have to agree with Council Chair Moby Dune. Green space is important. Down by Ecorse Creek, we did tear a lot of homes down due to them flooding too often. We got a grant, so that gave us some green space there. And I'd like us to go further and take care of more of the homes that have been flooding along the Ecorse Creek. We need to also clean up our parks and make them more accessible to the public and more, how can I say, I want people to want to come to them instead of avoiding them because of the trash and stuff. There's a lot of good possibilities in the city that needs to be taken on, and I'm willing to do it.
Thank you. The next question is, both of you are currently serving on city council. As mayor, how would you continue to work productively with the next council to serve the residents of Dearborn Heights? We'll just go back to Mobe Dune.
Thank you so much. Great question. And I can tell you currently, to become the chair, you have to have majority of the support of the council. And so I was able to have majority of the support in order to be the council chair. And to me, that's a huge testament to know that I can, one, be chosen by my colleagues, but two, be able to have a working relationship. And I've never stood before the council chair and said, well, I'm the council chair, I get to make the decision. I have always said this to my right councilwoman and to the ones in the room here, council members, including treasurers and clerks. This is very important that when we run this campaign and we run the city, we're running it as being united. I think the city today is tired of being so divided, and I believe it's time that we can and we will come united and stand together, but stand on the shoulders of our community, and so that we can all grow together. And so to me, I can tell you right now, I've shown testament that I've been able to work with our council members, and that's why I was able to be the council chair. Thank you. Not to torque my own horns, but yeah.
Candidate Maxwell, shall I repeat?
Sure.
Both of you are currently serving on city council as mayor. How would you continue to work productively with the next council to serve the residents of Dearborn Heights?
Well, when I was council chair, I, on a regular basis, spoke to every council member every day to find out what their concerns were. Plus, they lived at different parts of the city, so they could report what was happening in their individual neighborhoods, which I might not be aware of. And I have also worked both sides. I've also worked as mayor. And, you know, every council member that's on council right now, I've worked with them, either recently or long-term, and I've never had a problem with anyone. We've got a good council right now, and I think with a good mayor in there, we will have a good city.
Thank you, and we'll stick with you for the next question. What kinds of policies, if any, will you pursue to promote social and racial justice in our community? Let me say that again. What kinds of policies, if any, will you pursue to promote social and racial justice in our community?
I'm trying to think of the word. Okay, currently in the city, we do have a committee, and for some reason, the name is, I'm not able to pull it out right
Community
now.
Cultural Relations.
That's what I was looking for. Yes, and they came about 2019, 2020, and that was formed to take care of those issues. And they are currently doing a very good job as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, we're on the right track to where we need to be.
Please ask the question.
I will ask the question again for you. What kinds of policies, if any, will you pursue to promote social and racial justice in our community?
Thank you so much, and I don't know how many policies you're gonna be able to put forward, but what I can say is, you know, you can be very vigilant when you're out there saying, look guys, hate has no home in the city of Dearborn Heights. We've seen too much back and forth, too much going on social media. I mean, let's not even just talk about Dearborn Heights, across the globe. We are seeing with our very own eyes today so much hate being spread because of party lines. And I can tell you in the city of Dearborn Heights, when it comes to the Community Cultural Relations Commission, I was one of the founding fathers. I was appointed to be on that commission, and I had the opportunity to be able to serve and reestablish, but not just reestablish. When I was appointed to city council, had to become the ex officio. They asked us to leave, and so when back in office, we'll reestablish because we no longer have that commission. And so I hope to be able to, you know, reorganize it, bring it back together so that, you know, we can continue to show the diversity and the different cultures in the city, because really, this is a beautiful community that's so diverse.
And you may keep the mic. What do you see as the most pressing issues facing the police and fire departments?
Awesome, and I want to make for the record so that everybody here knows, I'm the only candidate endorsed by police officers and firefighters. Both police unions endorsed me, the patrol and the command. And when I met with them, they know that today we have Act 78 that was established by the voters in 1964, thanks to our great clerk who was able to find those newspapers from them. And we are no longer following that process. And so that puts the fear of our current fire department and our police department that has witnessed this current administration violating Act 78 and putting us into so much litigation. And so that brings down morale. Imagine working for the city for 30 plus years and saying you're no longer going to be able to get promoted, you can't grow from here. What gives that incentive for those individuals? Act 78 was put in place to stop nepotism, and so that whoever tests the best, works the longest, continues to grow with the department, and that eliminates completely of nepotism. And so today we see that facing a lot of a lack of morale, because people are like, well, I'm just going to come in, hardly write any tickets, I don't care what happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. Did you answer? Okay. Yes, what do you see as the most pressing issues facing the police and fire departments?
Okay, in the past, Dearborn Heights was a destination for most police officers to come here because of the programs we offered. One of my concerns about public safety is I will work closely with the police and fire to make sure they have the most up-to-date training and equipment to do their job properly. We have an issue in the city right now with a lot of speeding. You read about the accidents on a daily basis. Our officers are short-handed, they're working overtime, they're tired. We need to get them staffed properly so they can do their job properly and have some time off and to recuperate from being on the streets. Like I said, it's not easy to be a police officer in Dearborn Heights. Right now, if I have family or friends that come through the city, I have to warn them, wait before you take off from a red light, because people run them. That and stop signs. So.
All right, thank you for your answers. Next question, and you decide who will answer first. What do you see as Dearborn Heights' greatest strength, and how can we build on that? Dearborn Heights' greatest strengths, and how can we build on that greatest strength?
Okay, I see Dearborn Heights as, as someone who grew up in Dearborn Heights. I remember how it used to be. It was nice and clean, and it still has good bones. We have to just go back and take back the city we once had and clean it up. We need to look at the infrastructure and repair where it needs to be repaired, or just replace where it needs to be replaced. The residents deserve to have the city that they bought homes in years ago. We still have a lot of long-term residents here who didn't leave because of the city. They loved it. It was a destination for a lot of the surrounding suburbs. When you hear somebody moving to Dearborn Heights, they said it was like a destination for them. They couldn't wait to get here, and they don't want to leave. They want to see the city the way they were used to it being.
Thank you.
Please ask the question one more time.
The question is, what do you see as Dearborn Heights' greatest strength, and how can we build on that?
Thank you. I think we have some of the greatest first responders in the country. You're never going to find a fire department or fire chiefs like Chief David Brogan and the men and women that serve our fire department. And we need to continue to offer them the right services that they deserve, but also our police department. See, we might be seeing a decline in law enforcement, but here in Dearborn Heights, we know officers, even through some of the hardships that they've experienced, they continue to keep their feet planted here in the ground and say that we will always serve the residents of Dearborn Heights. And so how do we continue to give them the funding that they need and to be accessible to them? Secondly, I believe our parks. We're a city of many parks. While they are huge and green and beautiful, they're outdated, and so we need to continue to be able to build on them, and so that we no longer watch residents go to the neighboring cities in the east or in the west. I don't want to give those names because they're not as good as Dearborn Heights. Secondly, I think they have some of the greatest elected officials, our clerks, our treasurers, our council members, and hopefully future mayors. Thank you.
One last question. How well is our community meeting the needs of low-income residents, and what more, if anything, needs to be done?
Good question. At our last meeting, we have a developer that wants to come in on Outer Drive between Ann Arbor Trail and Ford Road and bring in apartments, which is fine. But they also want to get rid of the actual mobile home park next to it, where we do have lower income people living. A lot of my seniors live in there, and they are on fixed incomes. And if they are made to move out of there, I don't know where they'd go. It's hard to find affordable living nowadays. If you look at the rent prices on apartments, it's outrageous. I mean, I rented an apartment when I first moved out, and it was nothing compared to what they are now. I don't even know how anybody can afford it to go into an apartment or even rent a home. So if we've got affordable housing, we need to do what we can to keep it affordable housing.
Thank you.
So I have to say that we did have this discussion last night. I actually reached out to the investor and the building department. Those trailer homes will be staying and they will not be removed. So affordable housing will continue to stay. But when you build apartments, you are now offering affordable living. See, what's happening today is to be able to get just a rental property in the city of Dearborn Heights, and let's use 48125 for example, is around $1,900. If we're looking at 48127, it's about $2,300-$2,400. When you see things like apartments that are going to be coming, they're going to be $1,100-$1,200. And so yes, development is extremely important because it brings in more revenue to be able to offset some of the money that we need to be able to give back for our services. Everybody wants to make sure that the streets are being plowed, but you can't do that if you can't increase revenue. But you do that by offering things like apartment complex or condos, something that's more affordable. We're not saying build more neighborhoods and build new luxury homes. We're saying offer something so that residents can. Thank you. These 1 minute, sir. We got to rediscuss. I got to convene with the board. 1 minute feels like 30 seconds.
You're right. It's shorter than
I'm
you
speaking
think.
so fast, like I don't even know what to say.
Well, we are ready now for and thank you very much for all the answers to these very, very good questions. And we are ready now for your closing statements. Remember, you will have 2 minutes to make your closing statement.
I opened up. Do you want me to close too?
No.
Okay.
You
Awesome.
decide.
It doesn't matter. Please don't start my time. Let me know when we're ready.
When you begin speaking, I have to start the time.
Hold on. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I just want you to know that I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I want to thank those that are at home, that are watching this. I also want to thank the 4,264 voters that came out and put us over the top, where we took 58% of the vote out of 4 candidates. But this wasn't done because my name was special. It was done because we did the work. We put our message out there. We sent out a citywide survey. You can still continue to fill out that survey at voteformayor.com. We knocked as a team combined of 33,700 doors. To me, we didn't knock the city 1 time. We didn't knock the city 2 times. We didn't knock the city 3 times. We did it 3 1/4 because it was important. We put out a little over 4,800 lawn signs. I'm sure I've heard, yes, there are many still out there. But we did this as a movement to be united because we know that where Dearborn Heights is today, yeah, there might be some good bones still. But I promise you, if we don't have the right leadership in the next 4 years, we could potentially see the city being given away to slumlords or reckless drivers. We are seeing too many good people in our community leave our city. And so we need to make sure that we have a strong, assertive leader come January. I can tell you that I'm somebody that's got a 100-day plan. In our first 100 days, if you're driving reckless on our local roads or our major road, we're going to impound your vehicle and set an example. If you're somebody that cannot keep up with your home because you're a senior, we will offer you services. But if you're somebody that's just lazy and doesn't want to clean up, we will ticket you. And we will assess it, and we will get somebody to cut it for you at 3 times the price. Because for no reason should anybody sit and look out their window and see a neighbor that doesn't want to cut their grass. So when you make your decision for a bold, strong leader that wants to serve the residents because he loves and cares the city where his children will continue to be raised in. Thank you so much. Go with them.
Okay. I would like to take the time to thank the League of Women Voters and everyone who took time out of their evening to attend this meeting. It means a lot to me to see so many people who take interest in our community. As a longtime resident, I personally take interest in how our city is run. I know too many people in the community to let them down. Give me a chance and I will show you what the city can be turned around to be. Good, strong leadership begins at the top. Happy employees mean happy residents. I will give employees help as far as interacting with the public. The people of Dearborn Heights pay good tax dollars and they deserve better. I plan to take code enforcement to a whole new level to make our city beautiful as it once was, and I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Right now, it's embarrassing to drive through our city. The roads are old, run down, our infrastructure is breaking down on a regular basis. We have burned out streetlights. Our residents deserve better than this. I will do anything I can do to find grants to help us, and this begins with a good grant writer. I also plan on coming down hard on traffic violations and meeting with the judges to encourage them to enforce and not dismiss tickets or give lighter fines. It's embarrassing when you have to tell family and friends who are coming to visit, you gotta be careful when you drive through Dearborn Heights. I'm tired of opening up the news every day and reading about fatal accidents. We need to work together to make this happen. This begins with selecting a mayor with experience and who is not afraid to take action to correct what has been done wrong in the past. So tonight, I ask you to vote for me as mayor. You won't be disappointed.
Thank you. Thank you to our candidates for participating in tonight's forum. Give them a hand, please. We do appreciate the commitment it does take to run for office, and we would like to thank you for seeking to serve. We would also like to acknowledge Access, which is always happy to partner with us in whatever we do, because we all believe in the same things. So thank you to Access. To the voters who are watching, please remember to vote. It is not to be taken lightly in our country. You must exercise that very, very important right. It doesn't matter how you vote or for whom you vote. The matter is that you vote. Absentee ballots are available from the city clerk's office for any reason. Please remember, you can vote absentee now for any reason, not just because you're a senior. It's possible to visit the clerk's office during office hours to request an absentee ballot. You can actually use the ballot to vote right there and hand it right back to the city clerk, or you can take it home, put it in the mail, or you can take it home and take it back to the city clerk's office. So it is really based on at your convenience. We would also like to remind you that the polls will be open on Tuesday, November 4th, from 7 a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. if you choose to vote in person. For more information, please visit vote411.org, which is driven by the League of Women Voters, and to visit MyGov or MichiganGov/vote to get any voter information that you need in order to be an informed and engaged voter. At this point, thank you all audience for being here this evening, and the forum is now ended. Have a good night.